We've got Jamil Muhammad, who's been one of the best in the game for USC all season. 3 sacks already, flying off that edge, a ton of energy, intensity, been a great addition to this program. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Max Brown with Jamil now. And Jamil, I mean, I guess the first question we always ask the transfers, why USC? I mean, you're a guy from Alabama. Your whole career was in the Southeast. What brought you all the way out here?
Just wanted to be great, honestly. There was a lot of options I could have chose. But obviously coming from Alabama, I knew that I'm used to being uncomfortable, so I just think I thrive in those situations. So I think coming from that far away, being that far away from home, would allow me to get into that, I guess, like discomfort zone where I can really like lock in and grind. And obviously it was a lot of situations that went into it. I have a brother who lives down here, a blood brother. He's been down here for I think 5 years now. On top of that, you got Caleb coming back, so that's a lot of eyes, not only on him but the team as well. A lot of returning guys that are special. I figured Coach Riley was going to get on the road and get some, even bigger playmakers like Marshawn and other guys. So it was just really a bigger picture. It was from a bigger picture standpoint for me, not really just about myself, but what I could do not only for myself but my family later on down the road.
Jamil, walk us through the game on Saturday. Looked like maybe you guys were putting in some tough spots early by the offense, and then kind of Arizona State looked like they had a game plan with some new dimensions that maybe they could try to show you. Then at the end of the game, the rush came on, and you guys kind of put it away. Walk us through Saturday's game for the defense.
Yeah, it was just all about finishing for us. We go by the mantra, the longer we go, the better we get. And obviously we face some adversity, but, I mean, that's any game. I mean, even the Stanford game, from the outside looking in, it looked perfect, but trust and believe it wasn't. It's always going to be ebbs and flows throughout any game, whether it's a perfect game or the defense did horrible or whatever the outside person can say. But, I mean, yeah, we knew that going in it was going to be ups and downs. For us, it was just about getting better as the game went on. I think one big point that Coach Riley even touched on was we just got to do a better job at tackling.
Yep.
Because when we did, we took people down. We didn't focus on it as much. It was an issue. So just little things like that, just focusing on the little things and taking the punches and taking them for what they're worth.
Jamil, you're coming from Georgia State, and that's a lot of schools that missed out on you. If you're going to a school at that level, give us more of your story, how you landed there, and maybe the chip on your shoulder that exists from coming from Georgia State.
It's just about where you want to start. I guess you can go back. I tore my ACL going into my junior year of high school, which, if you know, that's probably the most important year of recruitment when you're going into your junior year of high school. So just having that injury set me back in some ways. It took away a lot of offers on the quarterback side of things, which is funny. Dan Mullen was my guy going into my junior year. I think he was getting ready to move over to Florida, and I was going to, try to flip my, I guess not really verbal commitment at the time, but what I was going to be a verbal commitment to Mississippi State, I was going to flip to Florida. So it definitely was going to get interesting, but I think, God just threw that in there to see, how can he adapt. And that's how I am. I've been adapting my whole life, from when I was little up until now. So like I said, it's a lot of things I could touch on as far as my story, but
well, you were a quarterback. Start there. I think you just sort of dropped that in. I'm not sure everyone knows that about you.
QB.
You were a quarterback recruited by Vanderbilt. Going to be an SEC quarterback. Now you're sitting here as a rush linebacker. At some point, there had to be a major inflection point there for you at choosing defense.
No, it was. I crossed a lot of roads and a lot of tough decisions and. This thing happened and that thing happened, and then obviously we just came to a mutual decision, me and Coach Elliott at Georgia State, and he just, he stressed to me that, he believed in my abilities outside of quarterback, but just as a football player in general, and I respect him for that to this day, because honestly, if it wasn't for him having that talk with me, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now, as early as I am, but obviously we had that talk, and, I think at the time he wanted me to, play like running back and things like that, but I think, I was like, hey, why not? Let's play defense. Because the last time I played defense was when I was like 7. So I was like, let's try it. So now I'm on my 3rd year in the defense now. So
talk about your coach a little bit, Roy Manning Jr., obviously one of the best dressed guys in football, but he's putting together
don't tell him that.
He knows.
Putting together quite a group with you guys. Romello Height had a game. Young Braylon Shelby looked like he started the season off strong. What makes him such a great coach?
Man, Coach Manning just he reminds me of my parents in a way. Like, the minute you think that you are doing something super special, he kind of like brings you back to reality. He kind of like humbles you a little bit. And sometimes, sometimes you need that as a player. I think, Angel Reese touched on it when she talked about her coach after the championship game. She said the most important thing about her coach is she still humbles them. Like, she tells them where they need to get better. He tells us all the time, like, we not that sweet.
Yeah.
Just because we do that. Like, he just told us today, like, yeah, we had a game on Saturday, but that was on Saturday. Like, we got to come back and bounce back and do it again, do it even better this upcoming Saturday. So he always keeps us on our toes, and I appreciate that about him.
You see in the transfer portal, obviously, for a guy like yourself, it's an opportunity to get more exposure and level up schools and whatnot, and you've made the most of it. You do see some guys, though, that are star players at the school that they're in, and they leverage that to level up, and then they don't have a role at their new home. That obviously is not your case. You've carved out a role for you there. How have you made that jump so successfully when maybe other guys, their role diminishes when they take that step up?
It's just all about adapting. I think, for me, it's like, like you mentioned that chip on my shoulder earlier, and, it's just like every time I get a chance to talk to my mom or my dad, it's like, okay, that's what I'm here for. Like, I'm not really here for, any type of, like, I have no time to waste. So it's just, I know I have that clock ticking in my head. So I approach the game that way. I talked to the defense the other day about just appreciating the moment. And not really just saying that we appreciate it, but like showing that we appreciate it by how we play. And I just translate that through my play. Like, the best way to show God that you're grateful is to, play with your hair on fire. And then obviously all the good things will happen. Obviously the ups and downs will happen, but if you do that, there's no telling what'll happen.
As a former QB, what do you admire about the way Caleb plays a position?
What can he do? Like, Caleb is Caleb. That's my guy. It's been cool to be here and be around him and see how he operates and see that even outside of what he does on the field, he's still like he probably may be one of the goofiest people on the team, besides probably myself or maybe Kalen or maybe some of them other guys. But no, Caleb he's a special guy, man. I mean, as far as quarterback, obviously he's it's not even arguably he's the best in college right now, and to be honest, he may be better than some of the guys in the pros, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
You got an early start on Saturday? What's the routine when you got to wake up and get it going?
Is it lunch food or breakfast food?
Breakfast. I can't jump like
that.
But I'm a breakfast.
Steak and eggs.
Well, see, I've never eaten beef, so for me it's probably gonna be like some oatmeal or like some eggs or something. But definitely got to get I can't do coffee because my stomach's gonna be tore up. Yeah. So I couldn't even do it, but. Yeah, just for me, it just reminds me of Pop Warner football, like them early stars. Yep. So it's kind of taking me back to that.
Oranges at halftime?
Yeah, oranges at halftime. So, it's gonna be cool. Coach Riley, I don't know if he mentioned it, but we've had a lot of early practice starts. So, an early game time start, it's nothing. Let's do it.
Can't wait. Jamil Muhammad will be out there on Saturday as USC takes on Colorado in Boulder.